Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Learning Torah Lishma. We want to talk about the Soid Hashmiya, Koyach Hashmiya, the ability to hear someone. This is something that I think we've talked about in the past, but it's so fundamental in life that for sure we should talk about it again. The ability to listen to someone, it's so important. It's so important for one's growth and for helping the person that's looking for help. Or even if it's, a question in the Gemara, the Machlekes, this and that, listening, it's so important. Sometimes, as a Rav or Rebbetzin or Rebbe Chacham Shiv, whatever it is, Mashpia, you could have the same question being asked a lot of times, and it could be difficult. Like, I know the answer. Like, you want to, and you're busy, you understand? So you want to, just as polite as you can to say, I hear what you're saying. Let me tell you, a lot of people said it before. This is the right thing. Now, there's a big thing tempting someone to do that. Absolutely. And sometimes it makes sense. You understand? We're not, but if a person does have the time and if they are able to wait it out, actually focus on what the person's saying. Because when you learn how to listen to people, you become a better person. So you hear it 100 times, think of it as Musar. You hear it again. You listen, as if you never heard it before. And you become a better person because of that. It's not just a waste of time. You're listening. You're acquiring the ability to listen. How many divorces happen today? How many kids get kicked out of yeshiva because they're ignored? And how many divorces because they're not listened to? That ability to really listen to the plight of your fellow man, your fellow person, is so, your fellow wife or husband of the child, is so important. Part of healing and part of solving a problem is not just giving the answer, but a big part of it is that someone listens to you. Now, that a person should constantly be complaining about every little thing and become a narcissist, that not. But sometimes people have big things that happen to them, and they're really seeking advice, but also with the advice for you to listen to them. It's also part of the healing, especially when it comes to women. But even men, you understand? They go through something tragic. They want someone to listen. This ability is so important. The Koyach Hashmiya, Soid Hashmiya. Now, also, how do you know? Like when you learn the Koyach Hashmiya and you understand it, you're also able to use that to help you to understand who's real and who's fake. Baruch Hashem, our lives today are much longer than what it used to be. People used to live between 40 to 50 years. Baruch Hashem, today, people live 80 plus years usually. You understand? People live to 90, close to 100 easily today. Easily to 100, a little difficulty, maybe, until 100 years old, right? And we're able to see so many generations come out of us and have so much nachas. But at the end of the day, it's 80 years, it's 90 years, it's 97 years, it's 100 years. It's not even, it's 120 years. It's a long time, but it's not forever. You understand? It's not forever. And we don't want to waste our time trying to explain things, try to get people to agree with us. Of course, we're open to truth, but if we think we have a truth and we say it to someone and they just speak over us, I mean, they listen, they could even listen and wait, and then afterwards they just speak as if you said nothing, you understand? It's not healthy for us. Even if we lived forever, it's not healthy for a person, especially that we have limited time on this world. We don't want to waste our time with those type of people. So how could you know if a person's like that? And this also tells you this helps a person figure out who's a real tzaddik and who's not, who's a real Rebbetzin and who's not. You understand? This helps us. Who's a real Rosh Hashiva, a real Mashpia, a real Rebbe, a real Chacham. This helps us. Is when you speak to them, when they answer, sometimes to answer you start off at a different point, but then it all syncs together to what you said. Does it fit like a puzzle piece? Do you think that they heard you? First of all, if they're just ignoring you, not wanting to listen to you, that's an obvious sign of itself. But a lot of the big tricksters, they're very good at listening, faking that emotion of listening, which is very powerful. To get to brainwash people is to fake listen to them and then just promote what you want. So how do you figure that out? So if you're smart, it's easy. You could see from the back and forth. But people that might be less smart, just to think, I said this. I'm going to let them speak. Is it fitting like a puzzle piece? Is it fitting into what I'm saying? Are they speaking over me? Are they just, which means that they don't consider anything I said of any value. They might even not consider you of any value, you understand? And they're just biting their teeth and then just waiting till you finish and then just repeating what they said in a different way, and they're not addressing your question, your problem at hand. So that is how persons see. Now we have to understand we're all guilty of this to a certain extent. We could all sometimes make this mistake, but there's people that the way they do it, they're like, in their eyes, you're here and they're there. You understand? They're not, they really are not machshav you. That's a big mistake. That's a big mistake, to not be machshav other people. Right? The Mishnah Pirkei Avos says that there's no person that doesn't have his time. Everybody's here for a reason. Hashem didn't just throw, billions and billions of people on this earth and hope that some of them make their lives worthwhile. No. He has a mission for each one of us. And we're all important. And the capabilities that Hashem gave us is tremendous, tremendous. So to look at anybody in this downward look, in this negative look, is terrible. It's terrible. And this is one of the ways to see a tzaddik. A tzaddik, he realizes that every yid has value. Whether he knows what it is or doesn't, he realizes the value of each and every yid. And this is how a person can tell who's really righteous, right? Righteous doesn't mean that you know Kol HaTorah Kula. If you're righteous and you know Kol HaTorah Kula, you're big, absolutely. But righteous is someone that in his character trait, he is superb. And in his Kiyum HaTorah, he is superb. And he tries to be Mekayim the Torah and learn Torah and be a good force in this world. That's what it is. That is a real Kaddish, a real Tzaddik Nister, a real Tzaddik Emes. And the Koyach HaShmiya is an easy way to figure out, is this worth my while? Because you understand that people could be trying to explain something for a year, and the person finds, all different ways to make believe like they don't understand. This is also the Koyach HaShmiya. You could see, I said something. If you refuse to understand it, it's not rocket science what I'm saying. If you refuse to understand it, that means that you are refusing to understand it, and obviously, you're not responding to that which I said. You're even refusing to understand it. Some people they'll fake. They'll say, "Oh yeah, I understand," and then they'll go just back to what they said in a different way. But these are people that are tricksters that are on higher levels. They know how to trick better. It's chaval. It's unfortunate they don't use it for good. But then you have these regular tricksters that they're not even. They just make believe like they don't understand. You understand? But when it comes to them, that you have to, you can't say that you don't understand. There you're expected to understand everything, even things that don't make any sense. You understand? You're expected to find the logic, and if you don't, there's something wrong with you. So you have to understand, if you said something regularly logical, and the person purposely is not understanding, and this doesn't just happen once, right? People can have a bad day, something up. You understand? This is how this person is. That means that they're brainwashed. It's this or that, and we don't really have time in our lives to waste it. Waste on all these people that are not mevushal, not fully cooked. You understand? We don't have time. We need to find a tzaddik emes, a real tzaddik, a real rebbitzin, a real Rosh Hashiva, a real chacham, a real mashpia, and do great things in our lives. That's what we need to do. So with this, we wish the best for everybody. And I think with this site, it can help us very quickly to figuring out if someone is worth your time and effort, worth making, if they're worthy to be, your righteous person that you look up to. This is something easy to look at. There's also other signs that could, of course, are these more deeper, issues, of course. But this is something more simple. That someone who looks very holy, who looks, and they're doing a lot this and that, and are they really muvushal? Are they really cooked? How do you know? Do they have the ability to really listen to you? Mitzvah with us getting ourselves around real tzaddikim, and our life's just becoming better. It's going to help us in Avodas Hashem, and we're going to become new people. I love you, and Hashem loves you more. Have a great Shabbos. Yeah, we just gotta end the video. Have a great Shabbos.